Hi everyone, and welcome to this so far unique plant and critter tutorial bite for Oxygen Not Included. In this video, we're talking both plants and critters here because the topic for this video is the Mimika bud plant which spawns Mimika critters, unique to the Prehistoric Planet Pack DLC. As these are more similar to the other plants than critters, make sure to check out the plants tutorial bite if you haven't already for an overview of the plant mechanics. So starting off, Mimikas and Mimika buds are found in the garden biome, which is the starting biome in the Prehistoric Planet Pack's Relica start, so you will have access to these quite quickly on these starts. But if you scramble garden biomes into another map type, then they will appear randomly away from the starting biome. Now, as I mentioned, Mimika buds and Mimikas are a bit unique in that they are a plant and a critter. Starting with the Mimika bud, these are plants that can be farmed domestic or wild, but when they finish their growth cycle, they don't leave a harvestable resource behind like most other plants, but instead spawn in a Mimika critter. And Mimikas are butterfly-like critters that fly around. They cannot be tamed or ranched, but do pollinate plants to boost their growth speed, like sweetles and grubs. The Mimikas only live for 5 cycles, or can be killed by dupes, and when they die, they drop Mimillet. This is the seed needed to plant new Mimika buds, and is also a cooking ingredient for making toasted Mimillet food in the electric grill. Let's jump into the details then, and I'm going to focus on the Mimika bud plant rather than the Mimika critters. When grown wild they take 20 cycles, and domestic plants take 5 cycles to grow. Plus Mimika buds do not need to be harvested by dupes, the Mimikas simply spawn in. As the Mimikas live for 5 cycles too, this means that one domestic plant will always have a live Mimika with it if not killed. Because they grow in the starting garden biome, Mimika buds can grow in oxygen, polluted oxygen, carbon dioxide and chlorine between 10 and 45 degrees Celsius, so similar to comfortable dupe conditions. To grow domestically, they only need 10 kilograms per cycle of dirt as fertilizer, the same as mealwood, and this is easily found in the garden biomes near the plants. For Sustainable Dirt, you can ranch pips as I covered in their critter tutorial bite, and each pip makes enough dirt for 2 domestic Mimika buds. To actually farm the plants, they can simply be planted in farm tiles or planter boxes early in the game, and as these are a more early game plant, there's not much reason to make wild farms later on. But of course you can leave the wild plants you find around the map for free food. So on to the uses for these plants and critters, there's only a few in total. Firstly, the live Mimikas pollinate plants, giving them a growth boost. This gives a 25% growth speed increase, so is better than sweetles at 5%, but worse than grubs at 50%. However, Mimikas can fly, so reaching plants is easier for them. And these work very well with the new sweet corn stalk plants, which need pollination to grow. Secondly, the main use for Mimillet dropped when the Mimikas die is as a cooking ingredient in the electric grill. The Mimillet cannot be eaten raw, but when cooked, one Mimillet makes 1,500 kilocalories of toasted Mimillet, which only has a poor quality, which is why this is more of an early game food. For numbers, on average you need 13 1/3 wild plants per dupe, or 3 1/3 domestic. And as Mimillet is a seed, they can also be fed to Pacu as Pacu food. Finally, the Mimikas can be eaten by carnivorous plants, and as they are easily renewable, either wild or with pips making dirt for domestic Mimika buds, they work well with Lura plants. These are another new plant added with the Prehistoric Planet Pack, and eat flying critters to make amber, which makes resin and fossil, to in the end make plastic and lime. Assuming the Mimikas are also pollinating the Lura plants to grow them quicker, then the numbers work out to needing 2 wild Mimika buds per domestic Lura plant, or 2 domestic Lura plants can be fed from 1 domestic Mimika bud plant. Of course, I'll cover Lura plants in more detail in their own plant tutorial bite. But that's everything there is to cover about these interesting plants and critters in the Prehistoric Planet Pack DLC for Oxygen Not Included. I hope this helps you use them in your base, and thanks for watching.